Good morning, everyone. It's Melody Reels at the Iowa Quilt Museum in Winterset, Iowa. It is just turned 9 o'clock, right on the nose. Thursday morning, 9 a.m. here at the Iowa Quilt Museum. We do a Thursday morning live, and I am Melody Reels I'm the director here. Good morning. It is May 8th, 7th? I don't know. It's just the days are just going so fast. But just a little update real quick before we get to what we're going to talk about. I had posted a Military Appreciation Month that May is, but May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. And what is better for your mental health than focusing on a project and crafting? And maybe that project could be quilting. So get your project out and just keep yourself healthy. Also, this weekend is Mother's Day, and we have Winterset, the chamber here in Winterset, puts on a wine walk. Each of the merchants on the square, if they choose to participate, will have a different type of wine. You have a scorecard. Come to that. If you're going to be around visiting this area for Mother's Day, come on Saturday. You can purchase tickets at the chamber. We here at the museum will be one of the stops, and you get a little goodie bag, and that's a lot of fun. Not to mention just that it's Mother's Day, so be sure to reach out to your mom this weekend and tell her how much you love her and appreciate her. So that's kind of what's going on. New things real quick with the retreat. We are now offering, you could come 1, 2, or 3 days to our quilting retreat on June 4th, 5th, and 6th. So if you were like, I can't go all 3 days, so you just put it out of your brain, put it back in your brain. If you could come just 1 or 2 days, you are welcome to do that. That is on our website, iowaquiltmuseum.org. Just go to the shop button and it'll take you, and then there'll be another button for the Iowa Quilt Festival, 2025 Iowa Quilt Festival. And the ladies, 3 of the ladies that are in here will be here that week, and they're teaching a class. That class has 1 spot left. So if you were dragging your feet, trying to decide whether or not you want to take that class, there's 1 spot, 1 golden ticket. It is Wednesday, June 4th is their class, and it's called Conversations with Improv. And all 3 of them are kind of putting their own spin, and you get to get their own, 3 different perspectives. And so they're very excited about it, and we're very excited that they're excited about it. So we have talked about Susan Latham. We have talked about Irene Roderick. We have talked about Naraja Lorenz. Who we haven't talked about is Deb Cashett. Deb Cashett is from my old stomping ground, the Sacramento area. So she was one of my contact people when we started pursuing them for coming to display their exhibit. I'll just read real quick what I have here in the book, which we also have online, books online. Deb Cashett's art is the most figurative and ensembled, but within parts of her recognizable shapes are thousands of tiny bits of cloth that on their own would be completely unrecognizable. Yet with her skilled voice, she has shaped the multiple and manipulated these bits until they form a larger whole, and that's where the beauty lies. So I'll stop there on that. And then here's a lovely picture of her, and she says here, a full-time studio artist. The rectilinear Greek key has long been one of my favorite patterns, and when I combine the Greek key with other pieces on my design wall, I start to see objects combining the words graphic and symbol. I create the word symbiographic. Okay, she created her own words. May help me develop a language of telling stories in cloth. My home is the golden country of Northern California. Mine too, sister, but I really enjoy traveling. I do too. So it says, I like to say I am fortunate to have friends who move to exotic places just so I can visit them. And so we will talk about, she's got a couple other quilts in here about her travels. But today we are going to focus on women's sports. How fun is that? So she did a quilt. So when they mailed this book, I got to look through it and I saw this and I was like, basketball, purple. She's from the Sacramento area. This is Sacramento Kings. No, this is, y'all, Sacramento Monarchs, one of the first WNBA basketball teams. They were a franchise from 97 to 2009. So she created this quilt. She put in their favorite numbers. I was excited to get it. It's a little piece of my home. And I said, you know, I'm excited to see this quilt. She said, well, I'd like to make a special one for you. And so she did. She made a special one for us. And I'll get to that in a second. But in the quilt, she's got different design elements, the three-pointer fingers. She's got numbers of her favorite players. So anyway, it says, this piece is a celebration of my love for the city of Sacramento and their basketball teams. I have also honored some of my favorite players, some of whom never played for my teams, in purple by adding their jersey numbers. So one of the most famous ones is Ticha Pancheiro, who is actually from Portugal, and her number's on there, number 21, and blah, blah, blah. So she took this and she created this. Can you guess who this is? Hawkeye Hoops, dimensions 53 by 66, pieced and quilted by Deb Cashett. Basketball is more than a game. It is a movement, a rhythm, and a weaving of history through each pass, shot, and rebound. The artwork celebrates the dynamic energy and impact of the University of Iowa's women's basketball team, capturing the relentless spirit through fabric, color, and form. So, Iowa State fans, just calm down. If you're not from Iowa, you just have no idea the rivalry between Iowa and Iowa State. They are two different schools. Anyway, so she did this. Obviously, you see number 22 right in the center for Caitlin Clark. She's got other numbers on there. You know, 3 very well could be for her three-pointers, but it's probably also for Sydney Affolter, who is still in school, who's played this last year. You've got 45 for Hannah Stolke. You've got, who's also still in school, I believe, Kate Martin, number 20 is on there. Can I just tell you how excited I am? Kate Martin had a great draft story last year, and she was drafted to the Aces. Since Sacramento no longer has the Monarchs, we now have the, they're not called the Bay Area. They're the Valkyries. Yeah, is it Bay Area Valkyries? Anyway, so that's down in the San Francisco area, and that is where Kate Martin is playing. She got sent over there, and I'm very excited. I like when my two homes collide, when California and Iowa collide. In sports in particular, that makes me very happy. So I'm excited to root for her on the Valkyries. And you have Gabby Marshall, who's still going to school. She is not playing. Oh, number 24 is on there. So I'm assuming those are team numbers. They could mean other stats, but I don't think so. But you have to have been to Iowa City. She's got elements of the city in there as well. She's got the three-pointer in there. So we'll take a closer look at all these little pieces and how she put them together to honor the Iowa Hawkeyes 23-24 team in this quilt. So let's take a closer look. Oh, I gotta take off my glasses. So there's some printed fabric in the basketball, but I think for the most part, everything in here is not printed fabric. You know, all the little details and all the little piecings create a pattern or looks like a print on a fabric, but they're not. But this basketball is. Got 45 there. I love how she has the ponytails for the girls running. You've got a whistle. A lot of fun. And what's the Caitlin effect? I mean, come on. This is not printed fabric. That is pieced, the black and white around there. You know, how it's bled into other women's sports. I actually followed women hockey this year and was rooting for the Minnesota Frost, who are now in the playoffs. You've got Alona Marr, who brought a lot of attention to women's rugby. And so, you know, it just brought women's sports to the forefront, not just basketball. And now the WNBA, who was dying, right? We had teams leaving, like the Monarchs in 2009, now added are they up to, well, I know the Valkyries 13, but I think there's maybe 15 teams in the league, and you can all correct me on that if you'd like. So what a great tribute, what a great honor, and just have fun. And let's just even, like, you could take in the quilting here and all the intentional ways that she has quilted. I mean, you got the tiniest little pieces in here. Just a piece, you know, instead of just using a piece of yellow, I mean, you've got piecing all in here. Black thread to add some more dimension, add some more movement to the quilt. So there you go. This is Deb Cashett, our fourth quilter in this exhibit. Now you've been introduced to all the four ladies, and we are excited. What a treat. What an honor. How special to have a quilt specifically made just for this, for us here in Iowa, that wasn't part of the original exhibit. So I'm gonna flip around. Wink. Real short today, just the one quilt. Again, Wine Walk is this Saturday. You can come see this in person. We'll be open. And Mother's Day is on Sunday. We're also open on Sunday from 12 to 4 if you wanted to bring moms and to see some beautiful works of art. Whether they're quilters or not, you do not have to be a quilter to appreciate the artwork that goes into these quilts. All right, everybody, have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. Thank you for joining this morning, and we'll see you next week.